the kind of data points that best supports that is, I think if there was evidence of that, I think the press would have gotten it by now.
All right, so let's go back to the Trump dossier for a moment, because this was put together, as everyone knows by now, by a firm, hired a sort of hit job kind of firm, to dig up dirt on someone as Fusion GPS, and they were brought in and eventually down the road, employed in part by folks close to Clinton, Hillary Clinton, and bankrolled by the Democrats. I guess the big question that we have to ask is, was Russia deliberately trying to mess with us, with the United States of America and our whole election process? And did they deliberately feed false information to Christopher Steele, the British spy that was hired to compile this dossier? I think that deserves a lot of answers. And the scary thought is that possibly the FBI used this thing to then get FISA warrants.
Well, we know for sure that Steele was getting information from Foreign Service Bureau sources in Russia. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. We're trying to figure out whether he actually paid for that information, that it's possible that he did do that. And so you're right. You have the Democrats paying. Now, they funneled the money through a Perkins Coie law firm,
Correct,
who then paid Fusion to try to camouflage this. With the lid's been blown off on that, we now know this was the Democrats' money. Steele is actively working with Russians. And yes, I think it's without question that he was fed a lot of disinformation. I don't even know that any of these Russian sources could have dreamed that this thing would have been used the way it has been potentially. And so if that was their aim, I think it was successful. But they bring this dossier back, and this thing is basically just a bunch of garbage. And so if that was relied upon, that is something that's very, very important. And there's a very easy answer to that question, Trish. We just need to get it.